If you're either a beginner triathlete or you've been swimming for a while and you're just looking to get a little bit faster, stick around and I'll tell you the 3 most common mistakes that new swimmers make. Okay, the first most common mistake, and even experienced swimmers are guilty of this, is crossing over with their hand. What you want in a swim stroke is to have your stroke outside the center line of your body, but a lot of people will tend to overreach and they'll come over the middle and they'll cross that center line. What happens when you do that is it's hard for you to end up making a nice catch because your shoulder just doesn't want to move that way. So you want your arm a fair bit out to the side. There's a couple of ways that you can fix this. The first way is really just to think in your head as you're swimming. You want your left hand to be reaching out to, say, the 10 o'clock position and your right hand reaching out to the 2. A second way to fix this is to get Finesse paddles. These are Freestyler paddles. I'll link in the description below to where you can get these if you want to check them out. The nice thing about these paddles is that they don't take a lot of strength, so they're not very tough on your shoulders. And what they do is they use this keel under the bottom of the paddle to align your swim stroke. And if you're going off center, the paddle will move. And what it allows your hand to do is just move down and the paddle scoops around your hand. So it encourages you just to enter on a nice straight line in that 10 and 2 position, eliminating that crossover. The second most common mistake out there is lifting your head out of the water, and that's natural because we want to breathe and the air is up there. So people tend to lift their head out of the water, and what that does is if they're lifting their, imagine this is your head and these are your feet, you lift your head, your feet sink, causing drag, and then you sink even more. And what you want is a nice smooth streamline all the way across, being level in the water. One way that you can fix this is to think as you're doing your stroke that when you're moving, the one goggle that's lower in the water actually stays in the water. So as you're swimming, one goggle is in the water, one is out. And if you always think that the water line is going to be here, you're not going to have to lift your head nearly as much because the water is going to move around your head and create a little pocket of air that you can breathe from on the side. If you really want to step it up and get a little bit sophisticated about how you fix that head lift, is to use a snorkel. And a snorkel is a very good training tool for learning how to keep your head steady in the water. I'm gonna warn you, it's not nearly as easy as it sounds, but you can still breathe, and all you need to focus on is a steady head and just moving your arms in that nice side-to-side motion. It can't just be any snorkel, it does have to be formed a certain way, so I'll link in the description below to where you can find a proper freestyle swimmer snorkel. And the third most common thing, and I was very guilty of this when I first started, is going too hard when you're learning how to swim. It's not like running, cycling, doing weights, where the harder you go, the faster you're going to get at the start. At the start of learning how to swim, you really just need to be learning technique. And if you're thrashing around and struggling just to make it to the end of the pool, you're gonna have a tough time working on that stroke and ever learning how to balance properly in the water. There aren't really any tools to figure this one out. You just have to get in your mind that if you go slower, you're probably going to end up going faster, particularly in a triathlon, because if you go hard in a triathlon, you're gonna burn yourself out in the swim and you still have to do a bike and a run after. So it makes a lot more sense just to slow down and be fresh for the rest of the race. And the same goes for when you're in the pool. And as you get comfortable in the water, you can add in some fast 25s, fast 50s, fast 100s maybe, but you're not going to do a fast 1500 meter swim. There's no reason for it. So that's it. Those are my 3 top tips for new swimmers that want to get a little bit faster. If you're a subscriber to A-Race, as always, hit that thumbs up button below. If this is your first time on our channel, we are for triathletes, swimmers, cyclists, runners, any endurance athlete that wants to get a little bit faster, figure out what gear to buy, and have more fun with endurance sports. So if that's you, I'd love if you subscribe. If you're watching on a computer, you can click on me to subscribe or the subscribe button above. If you're watching on mobile, just hit the subscribe button below. Thanks, kill your next day race. I feel like I'm on Big Brother here with the mic.